Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another quest log. I should really come up with an intro for this. I think maybe at some point I'll figure that out. No topics submitted this week. I might make it a regular thing though, have people kind of submit stuff to talk about. See, maybe I don't know. Maybe make it like a talk show or something. I don't know, or just keep it as like a video journal. I guess I don't know. We'll see what happens. Because this is just kind of a thing. So, yeah. App development is a tough business. It kind of makes me glad that I did not go into game development and have to deal with release schedules on a regular basis and then just go crazy trying to reach them. Yeah, because it is getting ridiculous. So yeah, I don't feel as bad about not getting into game development. So yeah, or at least doing indie game development on the side, kind of a thing where I can work on it on my own schedule. And and then like if it never comes out, then it never comes out, kind of a thing. So but I did back the One Deck Dungeon Forest of Shadows Kickstarter today. So apparently that is an expansion for One Deck Dungeon by Asmati Games that I think I have their version of Innovation. I keep wanting to call it Innoventions, but that's Disney. Although it's no longer, I think, at Disney, which makes me sad. But yeah, Innovation. If it's not their version that I have, it's over there, which is why I keep looking over that way. Then it's they do make a version of that game. So yeah, I guess it's some like cooperative dungeon delving card game that like as you defeat monsters, they have like a multi-use thing where the border of the cards do different things, and depending on how you slide it under your character card does different stuff. So I'm really interested in that. And the fact that they're coming out with a forest expansion specifically, so you've got your druid, your slayer, your hunter, your warden, like it's just right up my alley. So yeah, looking really forward to seeing how that goes. Looks like it already funded, so I don't have to worry about it like not funding. I guess yeah, it's pretty popular, so hopefully they can get a bunch of their stretch goals. And I guess that'll come out in September, so I will be on the lookout then for maybe, I don't know, some gameplay videos or something like that. Yeah, I haven't really sat down to write a DM tip article. I've been kind of too busy DMing and to really think about that. There's just so much going on right now. I mean, between still trying to finish up Zelda and Heroes 2.0 coming out, that was a huge deal. Hearthstone, keeping up with Nintendo stuff. My dad's coming in a couple of days, so trying to get like the house cleaned up and everything. There's just so much stuff going on. So yeah, I will attempt to get that article written, but no promises. No promises. I would, at this point, I would take any time that I say, yeah, I'll do an article about this with kind of a grain of salt. Because, so for one thing, I'm not a writer. Like, I hated writing, like, growing up in school. I hated writing papers in high school and college. Apparently, I was pretty good at them in high school. In college, I don't know, because it seemed like the less effort I put into papers, the better grade I got. And then by my senior year, I was getting these weird topics that like nobody had ever heard of, and you had to find one specific book in the library that half the time they couldn't find. And yeah. So yeah. Long story short, like I'm not a writer at all, so it often takes a great deal of effort for me to get an article on paper or on the web, on digital paper, so to speak. Yeah, I'd much rather just talk about it, and even conversationally, much better. So that's why I would kind of prefer to bring topics up on like the podcast, or, if I got a guest on here or something. I don't know. I really don't know what format this quest log is going to take. It may eventually turn into a second podcast, maybe. But I don't know. And it doesn't have to. Again, so I think the benefit of being a creator of content is you kind of, and especially one in which, you're just doing it for funsies, is you have the ability to kind of sit down and just say like, this isn't really working out. I'm going to change it. Or, I don't necessarily need to do this anymore, or I'm going to do something else, or, I'm going to do something new and see how that goes. So yeah, it's whatever, man. It's cool. So like I said, Heroes 2.0 this week, put up a video yesterday of the stream, did some streaming, found there are certain maps and certain objectives that my computer streaming that and running Heroes of the Storm, it is no bueno, no good. Almost crashing my computer. It's just the frame rate was that bad. It's like back when Winter Grasp was a thing in Warcraft, and you would get 80 people at the gate, and your computer would just chunk along, like just chunk, and stuff would happen every chunk. Normally not really bad per se in Heroes, unless of course you are the tank, which I was doing. So like I'd go to engage, and there'd be the Zerg swarm there on Brax's holdout, and then all of a sudden my computer's just like, what are all these Zerg doing here? I can't render them all fast enough. Oh no. And it would just stop for a couple seconds. I actually had it give me a reconnect screen that it was that bad one time. Thankfully it reconnected after like a second or so, but still it was like, I don't know what's going on here. And it made for a miserable match. I also got to figure out what's going on with my internet. It'll like cut out for a couple seconds or so, which is enough to like drop me from a game and kind of drop the stream for a little bit. But, and then it'll come right back up on its own. So I don't know if it's my router or if it's my internet service. Because my router, I've had my router for a long time now, before I moved into the house actually. So it's coming on almost 10 years now that I've had it. Because I picked it up 2008, 2009 maybe. So it might be time to upgrade the router and see from there. Like maybe it's just too old and it's not doing stuff correctly or something. I don't know. What I would hope is that if a new one would solve those problems, that it would be easy to set back up, because I hate network security. I hate dealing with it, because I don't want to have to deal with it. So, for those that have watched the podcast, you know that I've been watching some Mystery Science Theater 3000. I am so digging that show. I've kind of come around on the whole them doing like quick fire jabs on it. I don't think it's as much of an issue as I thought it was initially. Mostly because if you're kind of interested in watching what's on the screen, then yeah, you want them to slow down and let it breathe a little bit. But the stuff that they have picked for this season so far, yeah, I'm kind of glad that they're not letting it breathe. It's because it's so bad. It's really just so bad. I think the last episode I watched was it was something the Lost Island, or island that was lost to time, or something like that. The island that time forgot. That's what it was. The island that time forgot, and it was like a dinosaur caveman thing. Oh, it was terrible. It was so terrible. And then the Beast of So it was like a Western set somewhere in like Texas, almost like on the border of Texas and Mexico. And it was like a dinosaur, like there was a dinosaur roaming around somewhere. And the beast didn't even show up until like the last third of the movie. So it was like, again, terrible. I think the next one is like The Loves of Hercules or something. So I've seen a whole bunch of Hercules movies on MST3K, and they have all been gloriously horrible. I think Hercules versus the Moonmen was one of the ones that really stuck with me. So I am super pumped for this. I hope it's part of the same series where it's like the same actors and everything, because that would be fantastic. But so yeah, I want to give a big shout out to the cast and crew of MST3K. Yeah, I hope that you are finding continued success with this latest season, and that it is successful enough that allows you to make more content. And that you wish to make more content. I would certainly enjoy that. So, and apparently a couple of the writers from the newest series are going to be performing at Nerdtacular this year, so I'm super pumped about that. I'm just going to be so bewildered at that mini convention, or at that convention, I guess. I really don't know. I kind of wish that I was able to pony up for one of the lunch tickets and everything, but I think it's too much. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll just throw it on the credit card and see. Because it would be nice to kind of have lunch with the podcast crew. I did that for CreateCon, and that was fantastic. I sat with Hachikumo and Joss Plays, and I think it's Ping Pong Pete. It's basically Jocelyn and her boyfriend and Hachikumo, and that was a great lunch discussion. It was awesome. And then Dills was like at the table next to us. So this is all A Move and Frog Pants stuff. So if you're not familiar with those podcasts, I apologize. And you should familiarize yourself with them because they're great content. And I certainly hope that more Create Cons happen. Because yeah, it was actually super convenient. I got to basically take a mini trip to Florida, hang out with my parents for a couple days, hang out at the conventions, do that. So if that happens next year, I'm totally down for that. And hopefully it'll happen around my birthday like Nerdtacular is. So I just get to like take that week off of work and then come back and then go back to work for one day, and then it's 4th of July. So I'm super pumped. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll check out these lunch ticket kind of things are. I mean, they're like VIP tickets, so they're pretty expensive, but I don't know. You only live once, right? YOLO, as the kids say. God, I hate YOLO. It's like I don't say YOLO. It's Leroy Jenkins. Like, you have to yell Leroy Jenkins when you're gonna do something like that. It sounds so much better than YOLO. But so I think we're gonna wrap it up about here. But yeah, just cut it short a little bit. So thank you for joining me as I ramble on about some stuff and things. So if you want to check out more of the stuff, including the comic podcasts, other YouTube videos, and social media links, head on over to the number 8-bitadventures.com. So that's 8bitadventures.com. And you can find all that stuff over there. If you want to support all this content and help kind of keep the lights on for it, you can head on over to patreon.com/8bitadventures. It's the link. Directions are hard when you're looking at yourself. This link up here, and that'll take you to that. Big thank you to all of the patrons, and hope you're enjoying your cool stuff, yo. So with that, have fun, happy gaming, everyone, and enjoy your pie cake. Go open some loot boxes and heroes. Go do that. And we are out. Good night, everybody.